I'm going to explain how to fold the bolt and the frame for the imagination tester from Workers 4. It's very important that you start with a square piece of paper. This is 8.5 on the side. I made it from a piece of computer paper. It's a little bit heavy, which means that toward the end the folds get a little more difficult. So you may want to use a lighter paper. But the important thing is that it's absolutely square. The first thing you're going to do is to make diagonal creases from one corner to the other by just lining up the edges and pressing flat. Then, with those diagonal creases, you're going to bring one point to the center of the paper, just like that, and you'll repeat that on the other side. And now, using that line that you just made as a guide, you're going to bring that crease so it lines up to the center like that, and you'll do the same thing on the other side, so you have this shape. Then you're going to bring the bottom point to the back, and that will fold the entire model in half. You have this rocket ship shape. Now this next little bit some people have a problem with. What you're going to do is you're going to bring this vertical piece of paper so it lines up with this edge. What happens is as you bring it down, the paper opens up and moves into a third dimension. So the first step is to bring this corner down and line it up and start that crease, and then to gently move it along the edge of the paper, and that establishes the entire crease. And you do the same thing on the other side, bringing it down and establishing both creases. And then when you bring it down and line it up, this whole flap opens out just like that. And then you turn the paper over and you do the exact same thing on the other side. And this makes this kind of large diamond shape. Each of the three corners of the diamond is going to be folded into the center, just like that. And then you turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Corner to the center, corner to the center, corner to the center. And this produces kind of a shape like a house. Then you're going to fold up this bottom flap right along the middle edge, and to bring this edge to the top, like that. And you turn it over and do the same thing on the back, and this is what it looks like right now. If you look down into the middle of it, you'll see there are two flaps on each side. So what you're going to do is bring down two of them and flatten out the model so it looks like that. Now, on each end, top and bottom, there are two flaps, and those are both going to get folded to the middle line. So the first one gets folded up. Now is when you're dealing with some thickness of paper, so it's a little bit more difficult. So you fold the top and the bottom down to the middle, and you want to make nice sharp creases with that. So now it looks like this, and then you're going to bring the second flaps in. Now, because of the thickness of the paper, this won't go all the way to the middle. There'll be a little gap, but that's okay. Just make sure you press everything nice and flat. And this is what it looks like on this side. And then you'll turn the whole thing over. Now, this is the only other tricky part, because we're going to open up this. Because see, there's the bolt. This will be the bolt on the ends. And now we're going to open out the frame. And we do that just by lifting. What you're going to do is you're going to bring the point and this edge of the paper so it goes against that line and it opens like that. So what you basically have to do is first form a crease at this corner and then form the crease at this corner, which makes the diagonal folds. And then when you open it, the whole thing goes flat like this. You have to be very careful not to rip the paper when you do this part. So you have to fold gently and carefully. And again, what you're going to do is you're going to bring that point forward and you're going to form the diagonal first. See, I'm forming this crease right there. As I bring it forward, I'm forming this crease. And then when it gets into position, I press it flat. Now we're done. And there's the finished bolt and frame.